You could be training hard, eating clean, doing everything right, but still not seeing results. The culprit, cortisol, your body's stress hormone. That's what cortisol is. I know you hear it floating around every now and again. Not too much. No one really harps on it. But cortisol is the silent progress killer that's keeping you soft, tired, and stuck. Cortisol. All right. So for me, just to give you guys a little update, XFACTOR Fitness, I'm a coach, personal trainer. I've been doing this for 20 plus years inside of the health and fitness industry, studying, researching, got my master's in sports and exercise science. I know a little something, all right, just a little something. Not too much, I know just a little something. All right, today we're going to be diving into the topic that most people just overlook. It's how cortisol impacts fat loss, muscle growth, and what you can do to keep it under control, because it needs to be tamed. All right, so let's just get right into it. You guys know, no cuts, no edits. First thing in the morning, just getting right to it. All right, so what is cortisol? Cortisol is a hormone, all right? It's produced in the adrenal glands, all right? Those small glands are the ones that sit right on top of your kidneys. It's often labeled as the stress hormone, okay? Short story, stress hormone. All right. Cortisol isn't necessarily the bad guy. All right. It's actually essential for our bodies. And this is why. It regulates energy throughout the day. It supports your immune function and it helps your body respond to physical and psychological stress. Okay. So the problem isn't having cortisol. The problem is too much cortisol for too long. All right. So keep that in mind as we talk through this. So cortisol, it naturally rises in the morning to help you wake up. First thing in the morning, it rises, okay? That's the healthy rhythm. So cortisol is necessary first thing in the morning. But when you're constantly stressed, let's say from work, from lack of sleep, from overtraining, or just even just under eating, your body stays in a constant fight or flight mode. All right, so that means that your cortisol levels stay elevated, and that's where the results start to crash. So your body can't build muscle or burn fat when it thinks it's running from a lion 24/7. Okay. Keep that in mind. Your body can't build or burn fat when it thinks that it's running from a lion 24/7. Okay. So let's talk about cortisol and fat loss. Get right into it. Here's where it gets real. Okay. High cortisol directly affects your fat storage and metabolism. That's high cortisol. According to a 2017 study published in Obesity, individuals with chronic high cortisol levels had significantly higher abdominal fat and lower fat oxidation rates, meaning their bodies were literally storing fat instead of burning it. All right, that's why stress belly fat is a real thing. Belly fat comes from stress. It comes from eating too, but this is why stress belly fat is a real thing. Their cortisol increases insulin resistance. It spikes your appetite, especially for sugar and comfort foods, and it slows down your thyroid function. So in simple terms, you crave food, you store more fat, especially in that midsection. All right, you got the belly fat, and you burn fewer calories even at rest. So if you're eating clean, training hard, but still not seeing your abs, stress might be the missing link that you need to be attacking. All right. All right, now, so that's fat loss. Let's talk cortisol and muscle growth. All right, so here's the other side of the coin, muscle. All right, cortisol is catabolic, which means it breaks down tissue. Okay. In short bursts, like during a tough workout, it's normal. But when it stays high for hours or days, it starts breaking down muscle proteins for fuel. In 2008, there was actually a review in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, which found that chronically elevated cortisol reduces testosterone and growth hormone levels, both critical for muscle repair and hypertrophy. So you got your testosterone, you got your growth hormones, both critical for muscle repair and hypertrophy. So high cortisol doesn't just make it harder to lose fat. It literally makes it harder to build and keep muscle. So you got to think about that. You're training to grow, but your stress is tearing it down faster than you can build it up. All right. So stress is in the way when it comes to building up that muscle. All right, so we don't want high cortisol levels. All right, that's what we don't want. We don't want high cortisol levels for long durations. Okay, so here's how to lower the cortisol. I'm giving you guys some practical tips. I'm going to give you five practical tips to help you lower your cortisol and actually get to that fat burning and actually stay in that muscle building phase. And this is all natural. All right, I'm coming from a natural. I'm coming from experience. That's all I'm going to give you. Okay. First thing first, always talk about it. Prioritize your sleep. 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Okay. I want you to stay in that range. Poor sleep actually spikes your cortisol by up to 50%. So recovery starts when you rest. You got to remember that. Recovery starts when you rest. And if you have poor sleep, it's going to boost up that cortisol by 50%. All right. So first thing, prioritize your sleep. Second thing, do not overtrain. All right. Now, overtrain, tough word to think about. I actually have a video on this playlist. You need to go tap into that. I talk about overtraining. But training 6 to 7 days a week with no deloads, that's burnout. All right. Hormonal burnout. Okay. You got to lift heavy, but you got to recover smart. Okay. So 6 to 7 days a week. Cool. That's what we all do for the most. Well, I can't say we all do that, but that's what the majority of the intermediate advanced lifters do. One rest day a week, but you have to implement those deloads. Deloads mean you bring down your intensity by a certain percentage, or you even just take a full rest week, maybe more rest days. I don't take full rest weeks. That's not really necessary for my lifestyle, but deloads are necessary. So sometimes you do got to go in there a little lighter, a little less intense. So second thing, do not overtrain. All right. That's going to continue to keep those cortisol levels and stress the body out way too long. All right. Number 3, you want to manage your stress intentionally. Okay. Breathing exercises, journaling, prayer, or even your 10-minute quiet minutes when you want to reset your nervous system. This right here is very important. I will put this at the top if I could, right? These are not really in order, but I will put this at the top. Managing your stress. Cortisol is your stress hormone, and a lot of you are out there just stressed out completely. Okay, find peace. Like I said, prayer, breathing exercises, find peace. All right, you have to bring your body to complete stress-free in order for it to actually do what it's supposed to do. Now, life happens. We're going to have stress. That's part of life. We're going to have stress, but we have to manage it intentionally. Okay, that was number 3. 4, you have to eat enough calories, especially the carbs. I know a lot of you out there on them low carb diets. Low carbs or crash diets, it keeps your cortisol high because your body perceives starvation as stress. Okay, so carb cycling is something you can do where you have your carbs low for a certain amount of days and then you nice refeed, throw in high carbs, so low carb Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, high carb day, then go back to low carb. But you want to make sure that you're giving your body the proper amount of nutrition in order for it to not be in starvation mode. Starvation is how you stress out your body. And remember, we want our stress to be low. So you have to be eating enough calories. So figure that out. If you need my help, hit me up. Figure that out. If you need my help, subscribe to the channel. But you got to figure out how much food you need to be eating, and you need to eat that. That was number 4. All right, last thing. What you need to do is make sure that you supplement smart. This means magnesium, vitamin C, ashwagandha, L-theanine. I use a lot of different vitamins, a lot of different supplements that help to keep my stress levels down. The ones that I named are shown to help lower your cortisol and improve your stress resilience. Okay? Magnesium, vitamin C, ashwagandha, zinc. If you're going to do anything, make sure you incorporate those into your everyday lifestyle. You got to get those in. All right. Just remember, it's not about eliminating the cortisol. That's not what we're trying to do. It's about balancing it so your body can build and burn effectively. Okay. We want lower cortisol levels in order to reach our goals. So here's the takeaway. This is what you should have got from this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Like it. This is what you should have got. Okay. Cortisol is not your enemy. It's your body's natural response to stress. But when that stress never turns off, your metabolism, your muscle gains, and your energy take a major hit. All right. Start managing your recovery like you manage your training, because real progress happens when your hormones and habits are in sync. If you found this helpful, at any cost. If you found this helpful, all the information I just gave you in this quick little 9, 10 minutes, maybe 8 minutes, if you found it helpful, I need you to smash that like button. I need you to comment down below. Just let me know what's one of your biggest stresses, your biggest struggles, and let's talk about it. All right. I'll give you some quick practical tips in the comment section. And then I want you guys to subscribe for the daily videos on muscle growth, fat loss, performance optimization. We're getting it in every single day. I'm giving you guys something that's going to help you take your physiques to the next level, free of cost. And speaking of free, I have a 5-day quick start right there. First link in the description box. This right here is going to help you jumpstart your journey. It's 6 days, because I threw in one bonus. It's 6 days of nutrition, workouts, educational videos. It's going to get you the results you need. And it's 6 days, just jumpstart. And then after you finish that, we can lock in so you can do some one-on-one personalized coaching with me, and we can make sure that you're truly getting those results that you desire. Okay? Appreciate y'all. I want y'all to stay focused, stay smart, train smart, control your stress, find peace. And trust me, I promise you, the gains will come. And they're going to come quicker than ever. Appreciate y'all. I'm going to catch y'all in the next one.